Dan kita banyak membincangkan berkenaan dengan kesan PKP dan juga pengumuman darurat kepada Bursa Malaysia. Kita saksikan sekarang angka dagangan awal Bursa Malaysia. Dan kita akan saksikan kembali angka-angka tersebut sebentar saja lagi. Sementara itu, Persekutuan Pekilang-Pekilang Malaysia FMM gesa industri yang mempunyai kewajipan ekspor untuk penuhi juga dimasukkan ke dalam senarai perkhidmatan penting pekerjaan, industri dan perniagaan yang dibenarkan beroperasi di kawasan di bawah PKP. Ini termasuk pengeluar tekstil dan pakaian berkaitan peralatan pelindungan diri, seramik dan kaca dan mainan produk alat tulis dan juga kasut.
Tambah FMM industri yang mempunyai proses atau peralatan yang perlu beroperasi 24 jam seperti simen, seramik dan kaca tidak boleh ditutup kerana pembukaan semula operasi akan melibatkan kos yang tinggi. FMM yang dipetik bernama juga meminta kerajaan terus memberikan bantuan dalam bentuk subsidi gaji dan moratorium pinjaman bank bersasar serta mempertimbangkan untuk beri pengecualian, mengurangi atau menangguh beberapa pembayaran. Kerajaan membenarkan 5 sektor ekonomi beroperasi dalam tempoh PKP iaitu industri dan pembuatan, pembinaan, perkhidmatan, perdagangan, pengedaran, peladangan dan juga komoditi. Dalam masa yang sama, langkah MITI senaraikan semua perkhidmatan penting, pekerjaan, industri dan perniagaan yang dibenarkan beroperasi di kawasan di bawah PKP beri keyakinan kepada pengilang bahawa mereka dapat terus beroperasi. Dalam satu kenyataan FMM, Presiden Tan Sri Soh Tian Lai berkata industri itu menyedari bahawa semua usaha mesti dilakukan untuk melandaikan lengkung dan kawal penularan COVID-19 dan terus ambil langkah-langkah pencegahan.
Dan untuk bincangkan berkenaan dengan keadaan ekonomi dan juga bagaimanakah kesan daripada pengumuman daripada MCO ataupun PKP dan juga darurat ini, kita bersama dengan Shan Said, Ketua Pakar Ekonomi JUI IQI. Shan, first of all, let's start with the announcement that MCO has officially started today. How are the sentiments on the ground? Has it changed?
The market's already priced in this MCO and the businesses were ready for this MCO as well. So I think the market sentiment as of now, it's like BAU, business as usual. And the markets are expecting that the policy response would come very effectively, and it has happened. So if you were to ask me right now, it is BAU for business.
But looking at the current political landscape, what's the signal to global investors now that the emergency has been declared?
I think emergency has been a positive signal that shows that the political activity will slow down and business will move forward. And for global investors, it is very important that, businesses should move forward. And the emergency clearly signifies that the government wants to focus on macroeconomic stability, which is the key for Malaysian growth outlook for this year. Right now, the market is an interplay between epidemiology and economics. It's between a trade-off between business and health. It's a very fine line that the government has to follow. So I think the emergency declaration is a positive signal for global investors.
But Shan, how do you think the MCO could perhaps affect the growth for the first quarter of this year?
For full year result, we said that the Malaysia's GDP will be 3 and 4%. For first quarter, we expect economy to slow down, but the good part is that the Malaysian company has been able to secure 40 million vaccine from China. Once it comes into the market, I think by end of February, I think the economy should gain momentum and then it should pick up pace from that point onwards. So I think first quarter, it will be slowed down, But as we move along the other quarters, I think the momentum should pick up strongly.
Do we know what kind of sectors could be affected by this MCO? Because I think right now we know it's 2 weeks, but from the experience that we had before this, it could be extended to maybe 4 or 6 weeks.
Yes, a few sectors will slow down, especially the tourism and the hotel industry might slow down. But if you look at other sectors, manufacturing is open, construction is open, service sector is open, trade and distribution are open. So I think many sectors are open. So there will be few sectors which will slow down. But overall, the macro level, many sectors are open. And the government has given options to businesses to have employees who can work. So I think overall, I think few sectors will slow down, but most of the sectors will have the momentum.
And Shan, a few people have said that Malaysian economy is going to collapse because of the MCO. Are you revising your numbers, or are you sticking to your numbers?
Absolutely not. Neither the Malaysian economy nor Malaysian ringgit will collapse. I think we still maintain our stance that Malaysia's GDP will be 3 and 4%. It will be too early to say that Malaysian economy will collapse. I think in the past, Malaysian economy has the resilience to bounce back. And the resilience depends on one factor, that is Malaysian labor productivity. So Malaysian labor productivity will drive the GDP growth. And I think we still have this buoyant outlook for Malaysia in this year as well.
And do you think the government should announce a fiscal stimulus should the MCO go beyond 2 weeks? Is budget 2021 the biggest budget, big enough to support the economy through this MCO?
Rizal, at the moment, I think the government should analyze the business and the market pace and momentum before announcing any stimulus, how the market actually reacts. As I said, for us at Jiwai IQI, many businesses in our networking, for them, it's BAU. Nothing has changed. So I think it's too early to announce any stimulus at this point of time. As far as budget is concerned, I think the government did set aside a certain amount. So there is sufficient cushion in the budget as well. So as I said, for this year, government will continue to use fiscal and monetary policy to support the growth outlook. And government has room in the fiscal space, and Bank Negara does have room in the monetary space as well. So I think it will be an amalgamation of fiscal policy that will drive Malaysia's growth this year as well.
And Shan, in December, the World Bank forecast Malaysia's economy growth to be around 6.7% in 2021. Can this still be achieved? What's the biggest headwind do you foresee?
I think, as I shared with you many times, we don't follow World Bank or IMF reports. When we make our forecast, we look at many variables. We look at global economic outlook, the slowdown, interest rate outlook, geopolitical risk, virus impact. Most importantly, nowadays, the global investors are looking at policy response, how strong the governments are in coming out with a policy response and how they are effective in controlling this virus. As you know, since last 1 year, Malaysia has been one of the top 5 to 10 countries that have been able to control this virus as compared to many countries in Europe or Japan and Korea. So I think for this year, we continue to maintain our stance that Malaysia's GDP will be between 3 and 4%. We don't expect Malaysia's GDP to be around 6 to 7%.
And Shan, briefly before we end the interview, after the because of the MCO, what's your outlook for ringgit? We saw how ringgit went down about 70 basis points yesterday against the dollar. Does the ringgit have the fundamentals to maintain a strong position against the dollar?
We still maintain our stance. Malaysian ringgit will be trading between 3.67 and 4.10. We have not changed our outlook for Malaysian ringgit. Ringgit will maintain structural stability. It is the US dollar which has got the problem. US dollar will go down by around 20% this year.
Thank you very much, Shan. Saya Ketua Pakar Ekonomi Jiwai IQI berbincangkan berkenaan dengan kesan pengumuman PKP dan juga darurat kepada ekonomi dan juga kepada sentimen di pasaran. Kita teruskan dengan laporan seterusnya. Dan mari kita saksikan angka dagangan awal Bursa Malaysia pada hari pertama dagangan pada PKP 2.0. Dan saya ingin kemaskini di sini bahawa angka yang anda saksikan sebentar tadi adalah mungkin ada sedikit kesilapan teknikal. Namun Bursa Malaysia dibuka 1.622.71 tinggi peningkatan 10.67 mata. Kami akan bawakan perkembangan tersebut dari masa ke masa. Saya Rizal Zulkafli, ini Niaga Awani.